All right. At the Sanctuary of
Serious
Surasthana.
suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
What are you guys on about? Akaba and other person. Trying to write an essay about what? What do you need this guy for?
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you?
Damn.
The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains
Tatara
unexplained,
Suna.
there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Tatara Suna. Was that the name of one of the islands? Was that the... That wasn't the Fog Island, was it? No. Oh wait, that's the island that had the old whatchamacallit? You know, had the barrier containing the disaster. That one. Yeah. The Tatara Suna mystery, though. I'm not familiar with what this mystery might be. But yeah, so much remains unexplained. There's little to be objective. I mean, okay, but you could still write a quality essay like that. And I assume this is not supposed to be a research sort of paper. Otherwise, something like that would actually prove ideal. Okay.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that.
Okay.
But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person.
This isn't this mystery. It's not about the thing we helped resolve, is it?
I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Well, how does... Oh, is it just because he's from Inazuma? Judging by the outfit?
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Dramatize... Is this... Are you writing a novel, or are you writing a research essay of some sort? Because if it's supposed to be intellectual, it really shouldn't be dramatizing it. That's pretty poor form.
Okay, but...
I mean, those are two very different goals. Both fine in their own right, I guess.
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma!
Yeah, Paimon, that's honestly not something I expected to come up here.
Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
Yeah, I mean, though it did sound like he's not actually interested in researching it. His advisor or master, or whatever you want to call him, apparently is, but you just want to write an essay about it. Still, let's go listen in. I'm kind of surprised, actually, yeah. I guess word has gotten out, even though, you know, Inazuma was closed for basically the entirety of that incident.
Great! Let's go find out what this Tatara Suna mystery is all about.
Fair enough, but we did come here to meet with Nahida, remember? Let's not forget. Version of Genesis. Ah, there they are. This is a nice little garden. There's a word for it that I'm forgetting. Shoot.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper.
The missing Kabuki Mono? What in the world is a Kabuki Mono?
If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
If you're looking for the traveler, that's me. Right on cue.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
I am. If you don't believe me, look to my floating companion. I mean, while there's probably many, many blonde people in this world, there aren't that many floating fairies.
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
If you don't believe me, I'll just go.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma.
Yeah?
This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Well, don't worry, I don't take an issue with you staring or anything. But,
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking.
I could tell, but like I said, no hard feelings.
Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Depends on what you want to know. I'm far from an expert, but I did help resolve the incident there.
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
I see.
Sorry I can't help this time. Unless what you want to know about is said incident.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
What?
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
Okay. So you are a novelist, and you are, well, some form of intellectual, scholarly essayist. Okay.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Wait, so the essay is the easier read than the book? I feel like you guys might have this backwards.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna.
Okay.
The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade.
Mikoshi Nagamasa. I'll be honest, Akaba. If any details, I'm gonna have a hard time remembering by this point. I don't remember who that is.
But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi.
Jeez.
Well, no one knows.
Seems a bit harsh. I mean, my guess would be to destroy some secret, but...
Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger.
Okay.
Someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
So, Paimon, who acts in an unusual way, or myself, who dresses funny by, I suppose, Inazuman standards.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabukimono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
In what way?
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
It is, but also this is, really old. These are like events from decades or hundreds of years ago, right? These aren't new.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Yeah?
Stop shouting!
He's just excited, Paimon.
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out.
Okay.
It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago.
Okay, yeah, that's about what I figured. I mean, I sort of just assumed they were real people. But, 400 years ago, that checks out.
Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
They all went missing. Could it be? What? Something I'm missing here. So we had... Okay, we had Mikoshi Nagamasa, who was apparently a smith that crafted a fine blade. And then they threw that blade into a fire to destroy it. And he killed his servant, who was Katsuragi. We don't know why for either action. Then there was Kabuki Mono, who acted or dressed strange, probably both. I mean, maybe the Kabuki Mono was the Wanderer? I feel like that roughly lines up with when the Shogun would have first been experimenting with the bodies, or, you know, making a puppet. I don't remember the exact timeline of that. That would have maybe explained the murders. Not sure about the whole thing about the government official going missing, though. Yeah, not sure what the Traveler's getting at.
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in the story now?
Yeah, Paimon.
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
I have. Is Niwa like Kazuha's ancestor, maybe?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Yeah, Ishin art, shoot. I'm forgetting all the others. Amename? Damn it. We just did this too. Amenuma? No. Damn it.
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the
cool.
Kaidahara clan,
It
the
is.
last practitioners of Ishin art.
It seemed like a safe bet that they would be related to, we know one of the characters we know. Especially since that quest was actually required for this event, or this quest.
Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall.
Yeah.
I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
Yeah. And there was the whole, actually, I'm remembering a few other things now. The whole, because the downfall of their clan was actually tied to the Wanderer, if I'm remembering right from the 2.7 or 6 event that we watched. Yeah. But yes, please continue.
The Kaidahara clan?
Yes, Paimon.
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
There's more?
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears.
Maybe
I wouldn't
both.
blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
You know, I actually really like Sawada's energy here. I appreciate his enthusiasm.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but a puppet.
Yep. Definitely the Wanderer.
A puppet?
We might know who this Kabuki Mono is. The Shogun puppet that the Electro Archon made should be ruling Inazuma with her as we speak. It couldn't be her. The Kabuki Mono has to be the Balladeer, but what was he doing 400 years ago in Tatarasuna? I don't know. There was the whole... He bounced around between a bunch of different people for a little bit. Each time, basically, breaking his heart and kind of his mind at the same time.
Aha!
Don't know where on that
Judging by
timeline
the
that
looks
would
on
be.
your faces, you do know something after all.
We actually do. Not sure we should tell you, though. Maybe we could let you meet the Kabuki Mono, maybe. Could ask Nahida. glare at Paimon and hope she keeps her mouth shut. Yeah.
No, Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way
Yeah.
you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
Yeah, it's super scary.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what my book is about.
Like,
Please, take a look.
Like stories about Oni and stuff. Absolutely. How long is this? Alright, let's do it. Author, Sawada. The Isle of Darkling Clouds. Extract 1. A man arrived into Tarasuna around 3 in the afternoon. From afar, he spied laborers walking along the mountain roads toward the factories, their shoes scuffing along the jutting stones. They walked like people convinced that so long as they reached the fire raging in the mountain's belly, they might extract from it gems beyond price. The mood that the sight inspired was ineffable, beyond mere description for those not present to witness it. The man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted to join the procession. There, a towering character who stood half a head taller greeted him with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his words were filled with respect. "Do my eyes deceive me? Sir Miyazaki, I cannot think that the return trip here from Inazuma City could have been easy on you." Miyazaki smiled like a young man taking the first steps on their journey, expression relaxed. "Why, Katsuragi, Inazuma is the realm of the almighty Shogun. I sailed upon the fastest ship, strode upon the swiftest sea routes. What dangers could I have possibly faced?" "And what about good news?" There was some, naturally." The two burst into uproarious laughter, roughhousing with the other workers until the path's end. Let's see, Katsuragi was the servant, right? I think. And then Miyazaki was the smith. A young man dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf gazed into the dancing flames of the furnace before him. Now, the flames of a forge are unlike any other, for their intensity affects the resulting integrity of both metal and blade. So too, then, was the Flame Watcher an unusual individual. At his fingertips sat a lizard. And on his face he wore a smile. The workshop was huge, and the furnace was deeper within. A reasonable person might think that there should have been many working alongside the Watcher, yet he stood alone. Only when Katsuragi and Miyazaki strode into the room did the Watcher turn. This Watcher was Niwa, armory officer and administrator of Tatarasuna. Born to the Niwa clan, which served as one of the 3 pillars of the Ishin art, Niwa never argued with his siblings and was a worthy successor by all accounts. The post he received as a result of his high standing with those in power served as a statement unto itself. Miyazaki handed a well-bundled text to Niwa as he adjusted his expression and said, "It is you who have said, sir, the elders of your clan in the city do not think highly of our plan. Yet I still believe it to be worth a try. As such, I have found the proper vendors and procured the materials that you requested." Niwa studied the text and nodded. "We should try some of these new forging techniques. Whether Kaidahara says yea or nay." Katsuragi frowned, and with a sigh he said, Forging is a precise and difficult undertaking. You know this better than most, sirs, and still you seek improvement each day with a terrifying drive. Should my lord Nagamasa hear this, the sourness in his face shall be hard to miss." Nero smiled, replying, And how goes the forging of your lord's great blade, Katsuragi?" Katsuragi neither wanted to shame his master, nor lie to his 2 friends, and yet he could not think of any way to deflect, and so groused, "I see your ears are as keen as your hands, Sir Niwa. The jokes of us unlearned men are as nothing before you." Miyazaki hid his grin. I thought that Miyazaki was actually the forger, but I guess the names are just both start with M. Upon hearing this, Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm. But just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby. Their footsteps light with celebrity of youth. The head that peeked in was round and, in the light of the fires, looked like an oiled jewel. The young man placed some boxed food at the side, and nodding, he prepared to leave. Katsuragi called out after him, "What about your share? Aren't you going to eat it?" The young man, upon hearing those words, found himself slightly at a loss. After a while, he answered, "Very well, I'll try it." "You're welcome to the food. We all eat the same fare, after all," Niwa said. The man nodded and left, seemingly deep in thought. Is that young man the wanderer? The Kabuki Mono? Okay, extract 2. The Kabuki Mono was by the coast. Sunset fell to the accompaniment of darkness. The bands of twilight showed themselves not, for in their place did thunderclouds roil, grumbling the omens of a coming rainstorm. Darkness filled the flesh of the sea, and the dusk bade the clouds to kneel upon the land, its supplication mirroring the Kabuki Mono, with knees bent and face pointed toward the waters. None passed that way, and none knew what he was waiting for in silence. Actually, it does sound kind of like the Wanderer. Time passed, unmeasured and uncounted, till a black cloud suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the Kabuki Mono, bearing down on him like a nightmare. Though he was not aware at first, after his studying gaze was refined by time, he understood. This cloud had marked him from the very start. Outbound, a fishing boat drew near, the lights of its bow flickering in and out of sight beneath falling sheets of rain. A mist unsuited across the area, stealing sight from the there's actually a third extract. I didn't catch that. Where was I? Flickering in and out of sight beneath falling sheets of rain. A mist unspooled across the area, stealing sight from the fisherman. Repeatedly he exclaimed, "It is but dusk! How are my eyes darkened? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon safe tides?" Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat, and was joined in its bereftness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the Kabuki Mono stood idle, slanting his head to study the grand wreck. Not but half an arm was left of the one who had cried out for help, and with a plop, it landed at the Kabuki Mono's feet. He crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite out of it. He's a puppet, not a beast. Yet he did not, for the dark clouds swirling down had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. The Kabuki Mono stared at it blankly, like an awakening dreamer. When he returned to himself, the clouds had scattered, as if they had never been there at all. As for the ship, could it have been struck down by a storm? Who was to know? Not the Kabuki Mono. Interesting story you have here, buddy. Extract 3. Tie the two stories together now. Katsuragi rushed to the doorway and shouted, "My lord! Things go ill at the furnace! I have searched for Sir Niwa, but there is no trace of him, and much time has passed since Sir Miyazaki left to seek aid. But he has yet to send us any missive. Look!" Mikoshi Nagamasa... they both started with M. Mikoshi Nagamasa turned slowly, his face graven as one attending a funeral. He spoke then, his words heavy-laden. I wish not to say such words, Katsuragi, but Sir Miyazaki may never return. Katsuragi peered past Nagamasa's broad, stiff shoulders, beyond the windows. The clouds above boiled in waves of black, as if darkness now was the only weather, and might even morph into an abyssal beast and devour Tatarasuna whole. Over 10 people had already perished. That was why. Why? Katsuragi recoiled as if struck. Yes! It was coming back to him now, in dribs and drabs. That was why they had to set out to seek aid. Miyazaki had been the first to set sail. Miyazaki's the one who died in that crash. The clouds had only just begun to form then. Traveling from Tatarasuna to Inazuma to ask for support was normally no great feat, and yet there had been no sign of his return. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third, and a fourth, till the Kabuki-mono himself had departed upon the tides. Upon foul skies and ominous fortunes, it had been Katsuragi who had brought him back and treated him as his own, and it pained him greatly to see the lad go. Yet the situation in Tatarasuna was severe. Even should they sacrifice more lives, it would have been worth it. It would have been worth it to gain assistance from Inazuma City. Niwa was gone, and none could find him. Afterwards, Nagamasa led a search party into the mountains and the area around the furnace, all to no avail. Folk began to wonder if Niwa might have encountered an accident, but worry soon turned to suspicion, and they wondered if he had fled, unwilling to bear the sin of having caused these incidents. The people grew ever more suspicious, and Nagamasa himself strained against his discontent and fury. His face had grown to resemble the rumbling clouds above. Suddenly, a figure flashed by. Their presence did not go unnoticed by Nagamasa. He drew his blade and cut, though he only nicked the silken veil the intruder wore. Pretty extreme to attack on sight without knowing them, without even saying anything. For a moment, they swayed, and then, like a marionette pulled by strings, they moved behind Nagamasa, laughing darkly. Are you seeking someone, my lord? Niwa, perhaps? Nagamasa bellowed in fury. You dare address Sir Niwa directly? Yet the figure parted like a mist before his falling blade, only to rematerialize beyond reach, but not beyond sight. A ghastly apparition indeed. Was it you who slew my people? Nagamasa howled and charged, held back only by Katsuragi's desperate grip. As his senses returned to him, he realized he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. It seems that the rest of this work remains unfinished. From the existing text, however, it is apparent that this is a novel of fantastical, colorful sensibilities, born from an imagination well utilized. Yeah. You have the makings of a story here. It'll need a lot of work, but yeah. Well done. Not sure how true it is to real life, but, it's fiction. That's okay. Would not be okay for Akaba.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well.
Damn it. All right. Jeez, you guys, you're killing me here. A brief analysis of possible events of historical importance in the Tatarasuna area. Actually, hold on, I need a moment. All right. A brief analysis of possible events of historical importance in the Tatarasuna area. Details. This text belongs to a series of works sponsored by the Vahumana's Veil Cutter project. It is yet to be numbered. Okay. Author, Akaba. Abstract. The Tatarasuna area has always been a major pillar of Inazuma's smithing industry. 2 incidents have occurred here, and the details behind the first are vague at best. I believe, however, that there might be a hidden history behind the events that transpired. Hence, this paper will attempt to analyze what may have unfolded from the available data. Glossary. Tatarasuna area, Raiden Gokuden, Mikoshi Nagamasa, and Kabukimono. You know, I actually greatly appreciate that this is written like a proper academic paper that you'd find in a journal, down to the abstract and the, sort of the keywords that you would include for search purposes. And then the introduction. I gotta say though, Akaba, first critique, your abstract could use a bit of work. Abstract should include sort of, at least a summary of the key results of, your study. Introduction. This paper continues and expands the work of my mentor, Mr. Rumi, in his report on the happily hidden tales of Tatarasuna, and is intended to further this avenue of research. According to the data, the blade forging techniques of Inazuma were originally handed down from the Electro Archon, also known as the Raiden Shogun. Using the arts they inherited from their Archon, the people of Inazuma devoted themselves to the process of forging. However, strange rumors that do not quite fit the steely nature of metalwork yet linger about Tatarasuna, which was a central pillar of the forging industry. There, the Mikoshi and Niwa clans, along with an eccentric puppet, serve as the three windows of insight we need to investigate the truth behind what happened. Okay, Akaba, here you really need to... I feel like you need to better motivate this paper. I'm sorry. I haven't gotten quite why I care. You should also, I think, explain a little bit about what you're going to show. Just a sort of teaser. Body. Strange notes from the Tatarasuna area. Their contents are as follows. 1. Perhaps I overstep, but I think that Sir Nagamasa's mood grows better when he forges blades. The obsession to cleanse the stain on the name Mikoshi must eat at him. Also, Sir Katsuragi discovered a nameless eccentric while patrolling around Nezuchi Beach. That's gotta be the Wanderer, I bet. Do these notes have any attributions? Maybe the number is who they're attributed to. But I'm going to assume that each number means each of these quotes are from the same person, or same source, rather. 2. The inspector brought a certain number of jade steel ingots. Sir Katsuragi discussed matters of smithing deep into the night with the vice armory officer. 3. We at last made a single nagamaki. We call it the Daitatara Nagamasa. The inspector was in high spirits, and he and the vice armory officer, Nozomu, was so taken by the beauty of the Daitatara Nagamasa that he drew a picture of it, and he performed a sword dance with that wandering eccentric. But are these actually, No, the sentences don't... Well, I guess they do basically directly follow each other. Yeah. Okay. So these aren't individual thoughts. They're all related. They just sort of stop. They don't give us the complete sentences. Or they just end the sentences with ellipses for some reason. But, yeah. Performed a sword dance with that wandering eccentric. 4. And we could not find that eccentric. The inspector flew into a rage and slashed Katsuragi. Oh. Damn. That's why he killed him. Or wait, no, it was supposed to be the smith that killed Katsuragi. The great blade cut deep into the flesh, cast his own nagamaki into the furnace's flame. Unless the inspector was the other guy, the one that started with an M. Nozomu could not abide by that order, and drew the completely melted weapon out of the furnace. He was horribly burned. Jeez. 5. Nozomu died that night. I dare say that while Sir Katsuragi may have committed malfeasance, it was out of the goodness of his heart. Wait, what malfeasance did he commit? I mean... yeah, I'm not getting the malfeasance here. Maybe he had some... Maybe he was responsible for the eccentric going missing. May have committed out malfeasance. It was out of the goodness of his heart. 6. Kinjiro hid the nagamaki in Nozomu's drawing in the arsenal. Nagamasa is harsh, but also knows right from wrong. But even so, he's not amenable to reason. His name indicates one obsessed with purity. Still, I and some households of Tatarasuna have not been blinded by the matter of Nagamasa's mother, Chiyo, and we trust him. I also remain unwilling to forget the joy of creating the Daitatara Nagamasa with him, and that joy of watching that nameless eccentric perform that sword dance with Katsuragi. I still don't get the malfeasance. 7. Before we withdrew, we should have divided the arsenal key into 3 parts, one for the inspector, one for the armory officer, and one to be left in Tatarasuna itself to prevent theft. But we were in too much of a hurry, and neither the inspector nor the armory officer could be found. So I was so bold as to hide 3 pieces within treasure chests in Tatarasuna. I wonder if I found them. Okay. The 7 notes mentioned prior have been scattered across the Tatarasuna area. Among the 7 notes, 6 seem to be of good physical integrity, though they all look quite old, while the last one looks more recent. I believe that the first 6 notes and the last are of different time periods, though the gulf in years between them need to be verified. The contents of the first 6 should also be related to each other, as the incidents mentioned are quite consistent with one another. Rumi once mentioned in the haply Hidden Tales of Tatarasuna, hereafter known as Hidden Tales. Oh hey! I think I recognize, yeah, the Hidden Tales, that's something we've been collecting, right? That in the past, researchers from Sumeru had investigated the cultural histories of Tatarasuna and Inazuma. Though the place has fallen into some degree of disrepair since the Hidden Tales were written, things have improved since the time I wrote my original article. Regardless, what used to be an area of major industry remains a place most inhospitable, and residents of Tatarasuna may be found living and dwelling by the waters. The residents, when questioned, told the researchers of Tatarasuna's golden age centuries ago, when it was administered by Armory Officer Niwa, Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki, and, that's who Miyazaki was, okay, from the novel, and Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. Yet, the elders... that sentence reads weird. You should work on that. The residents, when questioned, told the researchers of Tatarasuna's golden age centuries ago. It was administered. Okay. They told them when it was administered by those 3? Or 4, I mean. I'm thinking. I don't know. That sentence needs work. You have a thought there, but it doesn't come across clearly. Yet, the elders among the locals with deeper ties to the region also seemed to stress the fact that there strange rumors surrounding their homeland's past. A great many of these rumors revolved around the yokai, who are so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A very small number, however, mentioned the word puppet. Okay, so they did mention the puppet. Interesting. It should be known that puppets are neither traditional nor common yokai in Inazuma. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually, the following pieces of information came to light. A puppet did once appear in Tatarasuna. Its visage was elegant, its apparel impeccable, and the way it dressed hid all the joint lines on its body. I really would recommend using more objective language, but the third one is fine. But elegant and impeccable, very open to interpretation. I mean, if that's exactly what they said, then so be it, but if no one were to mention that it was indeed a puppet, it would be hard to tell at all. Additionally, this puppet seemed to possess special joint lines that would fade with time, potentially even disappearing altogether, which would perhaps eventually make the puppet seem entirely human. Yeah, it kinda does. I mean, I never would have guessed the Wanderer was a puppet until we learned that fact. The name of the puppet was known to almost none. Some folk claimed to have spotted it appearing around Tatarasuna, while others mentioned encountering it in the central regions of the area. Some even claimed that it would frequent the beach. Tales spread of it standing beside the sea and gazing across the waters toward Inazuma City. What it was that the puppet was gazing at remains a mystery. I think you could rewrite that as just what the puppet was gazing at remains a mystery. Remember, clear and concise language is important. As mentioned earlier, the 6 notes all document a certain nameless eccentric. The eccentric, which can also be read as kabukimono, is usually used in Inazuma to refer to a figure who dresses or behaves in a peculiar manner. It is understandable, therefore, why this character would have left such an impression. Should the people of Tatarasuna indeed have had a puppet in their midst incurring mass panic? A good possibility considering the coexistence between yokai and humans in Inazuma at large. Then the puppet would have very likely become a local resident. What is less well known is if the kabukimono was just another title for this puppet. Perhaps because it was uniquely dressed to distract attention from its more special characteristics. A workable hypothesis, but one that still lacks enough evidence to support it. Still, it can be retained as an analytical lens of sorts. A list of individuals related to Tatarasuna has been compiled here based on historical documents from Inazuma. Starting from the administrators, the records are as follows. Armory Officer Niwa. Full name, Niwa Hisahide. He was an inheritor of the Ishin art, so he actually was not of the Kaidahara clan, interesting, and successor to the Niwa clan. His family, along with the Akame and Kaidahara clans, were together known as the Ishin Sansaku. Records show that Niwa was a modest and intelligent individual who displayed remarkable talents in the administration of territory and people. His eventual whereabouts are unknown, but he was suspected to have left Tatarasuna with his family following the incident. Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki. Full name Miyazaki Kaneo. He was Niwa's second in command. His origins are unknown, and he primarily assisted Niwa in forging and personnel management. He was of affable temperament and had many friends in the region, including one Mikoshi Nagamasa. The Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. So the successor of the Mikoshi clan, adopted son to Oni warrior Mikoshi Chiyo. Oh. And Oni. Oh, cool. and the younger adopted brother to Mikoshi Michihiro, also known as Iwakura the Successor. With his mother missing and abandoned by his brother, Nagamasa alone bore the family name, striving daily to wipe the shame from their history. I don't know what shame he was trying to wipe, but okay. I guess he succeeded. Though records state that Mikoshi Nagamasa was a stubborn figure, he was also noted to be a person of moral virtue and integrity. It has been noted in various records that he practiced forging swords for self-cultivation, and specifically requested special instruction from Miyazaki to further his capabilities. However, after the famous blade, Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, he used it to slay his subordinate, Katsuragi, for reasons unknown at present. Right. But he wasn't actually the one who forged this blade, right? Because he was an inspector, not a smith. Oh, I don't know. Subordinate, Katsuragi. Katsuragi's full name and background remain unknown. Despite all the materials I have sorted through, I have yet to find any more additional personal information regarding him. As one of Mikoshi Nagamasa's subordinates, he was a loyal warrior who had been saved by Nagamasa in his youth. From then on, he swore to stick by his lord through thick and thin, and to give his life in service if it was but asked of him. Finally, Kabuki-mono. So I guess it was asked of him in the end. Kabuki-mono, full name unknown, background unknown. From the many sources I've compiled, combined with Rumi's personal observations, this character might have been the puppet mentioned in the rumors. Kabuki-mono was a figure of fashionable grace and gentleness. According to the hidden tales, he was brought back to Tatarasuna by Katsuragi and became a member of the community. When the Kabuki-mono first arrived in Tatarasuna, he knew nothing of cleaning, cooking, or any work of meticulous nature. The locals taught him their skills over time, showing him how to clean his attire, dance, and craft small trinkets. Records state that the Kabuki-mono was there when the Daitatara Nagamasa was forged, though his trail ends before Mikoshi Nagamasa slew Katsuragi. I believe that the Kabuki-mono was indeed the aforementioned puppet, that he quite likely had a hand in Katsuragi's death. Oh yeah, I have to imagine. It seems the rest of this paper remains unfinished. One thing is for sure, though. A lot of thought was put into it. Yeah, I think you have a good beginnings of a paper here. I'm not sure, is all of this original research, or are you sort of summarizing things other people have found? Is this more of a review, of a literature review, than an actual original research publication? Important question. But, you know, some things you can improve, but all in all, not bad, not bad.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it.
Well, yeah, if you're planning on publishing that, 100%. If you using a creative approach, well, I mean, just don't even try. No. Write a book if that's what you want to do.
Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Wait, is that something that actually happened, or are you just making that up?
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Well done, Paimon. Yeah, no. It's... Please don't. Please really don't. I'm trying to rebuild my, respect for the academia that was so thoroughly shattered by the Archon quest. If you start doing stuff like that, it's going to make it, much harder. Has this guy ever written an essay before? Yeah, that sounds more like a novel.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get.
Well, it's certainly not quite true, considering the Kabuki Mono is still alive. But,
Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
no, dude, you don't need a new angle. If you're just, I mean, it seems like what you were going for was a sort of a compilation of facts about this. I mean, I do agree you need a more cohesive narrative, and you should outline what that narrative is going to be in your introduction. But, I mean, other than that, yeah, no, don't start making things up.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay!
Yeah.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Maybe. We'll see.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the Balladeer, doesn't it?
Absolutely, Paimon. I'm impressed. You actually picked up on it.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh?
That's why I was giving you the death glare.
After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it?
I don't know if that's true, Paimon. The fact that we kicked his butt and locked him up isn't really confidential. I mean, I'm sure the Fatui would like to keep it confidential, but beyond that, I mean, we don't care what the Fatui think. I don't know if Nahida would care about keeping that stuff a secret.
If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
I mean, I'm still a little confused. Was he trying to write an essay, or was he trying to write a research publication? Those are not the same thing. The abstract and the way it was structured make me definitely think publication, but the way it was written, you know, had more essay vibes. Wait, was that just... Was that the Wanderer? I recognize the outfit. What's wrong?
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
Yeah, there he is. What the hell? Is he, like, on parole? You know, does she like, have an ankle bracelet around him or something? Did she take his vision away? I don't know.
The Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
I mean, we don't actually know what Nahida did with him, Paimon. She said she'd keep an eye on him is all, and that she would try to help him. I am a bit surprised to see him walking around, though. Did he go into the sanctuary? Guess so. Oh, Nahida! Did you see the Balladeer come through here?
Traveler, Paimon, there you are.
Good to see you again. It hasn't been that long for me, but, you know, it's been too long still.
Nahida, bad news. We just saw the Balladeer strolling around in public.
We did. I imagine you set him, you know, loose.
Did he escape or... Ah, it's him!
There he is. What's up, Mr. Balladeer? Do you still go by that name? That is your Fatui name. Do you prefer Scaramouche? Isn't that also kind of your Fatui name, though? Wanderer is just who you were posing as and kind of also what you've done throughout your life.
Sure enough, you're here.
Of course. Nahida's here, and, well, we wanted to visit her.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up?
It's no trouble, Paimon. I mean, Nahida's here.
I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain.
Of course.
It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me.
Oh, nice. Balladeer working for Nahida now. Well, that's a former Fatui Harbinger. I mean, I don't know if, what's the deal with that, Balladeer? Are you technically still a Harbinger, even though you aren't free anymore to return to them? I mean, you haven't really betrayed them yet. I don't know. But still, working for Nahida now. Having a Harbinger on your side is, especially a highly ranked one like that, it's pretty nice.
A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
Paimon, have some trust, have some faith in Nahida. She is the goddess of wisdom.
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
I mean, no. Like I said, I do feel bad for you a bit after we, caught glimpses of your past. I want Nahida to be able to help you, heal that, both broken heart and broken mind, I guess. The mind's not really, it's more a broken heart.
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
I mean, she did. Man, Paimon's out for blood, though.
So if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Damn, I mean, do you want us to kill you, Balladeer?
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, sorry,
Not a
Nahida.
good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about this. Paimon's apparently a little attack dog.
But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
Paimon. Nahida is a goddess and he doesn't have a gnosis anymore. I don't think he actually, and he's also not in the top 3. So I'm not sure he stands a chance, really. Even though Nahida isn't, combat oriented, her mind powers are still nothing to sneeze at. Yeah. Though I will say, it is actually insane that the Fatui have, besides the Tsaritsa, 3 people on the level of a god. Can any other nation boast that? That's actually kind of insane. And how did those 3 achieve that level of power? I don't know, maybe the Grandmaster is, of the Knights of Favonius is at that level? Not sure about the Millilith, or the Qixing, or the anyone in Inazuma either. The closest would probably be a Miko.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Yeah, sorry about that, Nahida.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us.
Paimon, calm down. It's okay. It's okay.
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Yeah.
Well, I, for one, have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time.
Yeah, I would really appreciate knowing everything you guys discussed. If I remember right, you actually withheld some stuff from that. There's all the thing about the Descenders. Was that the extent of what he told you?
The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position.
Right. Does he no longer have a... I mean, what would happen if you tried to go back to the Fatui at this point?
Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets.
Very true.
Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond.
Yeah. That's a good point. Are they going to try to eliminate him? I mean, from a purely strategic point of view, that would probably be smart. You know, depending on what his actual loyalty is. Whether they think he's actually a risk of, you know, revealing information, or maybe he actually doesn't know, you know, truly important things that he could reveal.
Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore?
Oh, Wanderer, have you officially given up the Fatui?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Ah. Okay. So he tossed you out like trash. Oof. That hurts. And I think that especially hurts, probably given his past, too.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers.
That's actually an extremely unhealthy way of viewing human relationships, Balladeer. I'm just saying. And that's how... I wouldn't have thought that's how the Fatui felt about each other, or the Harbingers. I mean, I've always got the sense that they actually kind of care about each other. At least after the, you know, Winter Night's Lazo, we saw them mourning La Signora. I mean, they would absolutely do anything, sacrifice anything, even each other, for the Tsaritsa. But,
So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Really? What a crying shame. I mean, yeah, no, the fact that you view life that way, view human relationships that way, that's actually kind of sad.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
Yeah? I mean, fair.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
Yeah. I mean, the gain on our side is too good to pass up, really.
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
I mean, I think both of us would be extremely foolish to pass up on this offer. Especially if you don't actually have a place back with the Fatui Harbingers. I mean, that takes away one of the main risks of setting you free. The only thing we're really losing out on here is, I guess, justice, but, I mean, far more good will be done putting you to work than, you know, will be gained by just locking you up forever.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him!
Paimon, shut up! You are being very Paimon right now and making really silly decisions.
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
Okay.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
What did you agree on?
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you serious about this?
Paimon, it's okay. Trust the goddess of wisdom.
Yes.
She is a very, very smart cookie. And you're Paimon. I'm sorry.
I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
For me? Something about my brother, perhaps? I mean, you said he was going to investigate Irminsul.
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
I mean, apparently she's sending this, the Wanderer to get some more information on that.
Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point.
Oh, this reminds me. I did finally go back and rewatch that opening cutscene. And yes, she was the sustainer of heavenly principles. Yeah. And also, apparently we had already journeyed on this earth, and it was when we tried to leave that we ran into her. And yeah, she sealed away our powers, apparently. Which, makes sense why we're not quite on the level to fight a god anymore. Or maybe it was only the powers to go between worlds, I don't know. But, and then, we woke up after an unknown amount of time. I still think that event happened. We probably came when Conrio was still there. And then when we tried to leave, coincided probably with the fall of Conrio. That's my tentative, ongoing, I should say, prediction. But
it's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about.
Yeah?
And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am.
So you're sending him to sort of hook up to Irminsul to gain information? You see that again. Yeah. Extremely important that my twin is not in the Descender category. I mean, she did do something to my twin first. She, absorbed him into, a block or something. But she kind of did the same thing to us after the fact. So I don't know why I would be different than him.
He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era.
Oh.
Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect.
Oh, that's cool. That is really cool. But he can't do it sort of remotely like you can. Which, I mean, you are a piece of Irminsul, so that maybe makes sense. Wow.
The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me.
Right. So that explains a little about how it works. It's more you have to actively search for things rather than, what you want to know sort of automatically coming to mind or being brought to you. That's a bit more complicated, yeah.
So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
What if he lies to you? I mean, I suppose that is a risk, but Knowing who the Balladeer is, actually, and knowing his personality, I kind of don't think he would. I mean, he's not going to do it to protect the Fatui, because they've already betrayed him. And he's kind of takes betrayal kind of seriously, I think. After, his past. But, and he views, relationships as very transactional now. If he lied, well, if he got caught in that lie, he knows he would be giving up his worth. So, I don't think he would do that.
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him!
This is
He's
Paimon.
treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
Well, it's because we were enemies, Paimon. Now we're not. He's a very, it's just business kind of guy, don't you think? I mean, so did Child. Well, no, he started out tricking us, but that actually makes it worse almost.
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all.
Yeah. My reunion with my brother.
Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing.
Yeah.
A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns.
Aw. Yeah. She definitely does. I think... I can't imagine, like... It's definitely the one thing she wants more than anything. I mean, I don't know if she would, turn against all the friends she's made along the way to support him. But I can't imagine her turning against her brother. Even though it does almost feel like that's kind of where we're going, story-wise, it's hard to imagine. And yeah, it's also true that, the Traveler plays a lot of cards close to the chest. She keeps a lot of things internal. Even from Paimon. But I guess this makes Nahida the one person who's actually gained even a glimpse into everything she's, kept to herself. All those feelings and emotions.
As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you.
Oh, thank you, Nahida. I love you so much. You are... I've said it before, I'll say it again. You are by far my favorite Archon. I want you to know. And I think you'll stay that way. No matter how fun Farina ends up being. Because I do expect her to be quite fun.
If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it.
Thank you, Nahida. You are very wise. Even in the deals you make, you don't throw away good opportunities just for, Paimon reasons.
It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Thank you. I look forward to doing your character quests, too, your story quests. Do you have one or two? I think you have two.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I mean, we can't connect to Irminsul, can we?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection.
Well, kinda do. You can visit me in my dreams, right? You even visited me as a bird once, didn't you?
In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned.
Absolutely. I kind of want to go see Irminsul too, anyways.
Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger.
Right.
If you could accompany him, It would put my mind at ease.
Absolutely. It'd also put my mind at ease if you, you know, kept a watch on us from afar, you know, in whatever way you can. I mean, I think you have the ability to, you know, keep an eye on us from, like, nature or something like that, right?
Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
Excellent. Glad to be of help.
Great. Thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Oh, we don't have to go on a journey to the tree?
Wow. It looks pretty different here compared to last time.
Yeah.
The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Yeah. It is pretty still. Can we fall? I think we can. I don't want to try. We can't jump, but we probably can fall. It really is such a beautiful tree. Hey there, Balladeer.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
No. Well, Paimon probably did. But no, Nahida just sent me to babysit you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
Shut your beak, jailbird. I like that, Paimon. That was actually quite witty. I'm surprised. No, I'm not surprised. Paimon actually has pretty exceptional wit at times. And other times, not. But nah, smugness is his default, Paimon.
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
I mean, are we not your parole officer then?
Sounds like a successful rendezvous.
Hey, Nahida.
I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul.
Yeah?
It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru.
I mean, it very well might be the most important place in all of the world, quite frankly. I mean, Irminsul is the world tree, basically.
Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information.
Oh man.
You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through.
That seems like it could actually be dangerous if your mind isn't prepared.
I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Of course, Nahida. Though I'm actually a little curious, what grievance does the Balladeer have against us? I mean, he basically had his way with us every time we've met. But no, understood. I guess until the very last time.
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Paimon.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are going to be traveling together after all.
Yeah.
Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
Aw, you think my eyes are pretty? Thank you.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
I mean, he has actually been adventuring for, what, 400 or 500 years, Paimon? He kind of does. I mean, I have much experience adventuring with my brother through the stars, but, I mean, I don't actually know how long we, did that, because I don't really know how old we are. I still don't believe we're only, I don't believe we're as young as we appear, but...
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going.
Of course.
Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
No, we're good.
Ew! adorable.
Aw. Would it make you feel better to give him a nasty nickname, Paimon? There's no need for all the biting sarcasm. Just focus on doing your job. I know you like sarcasm, and you know you're not bad at it.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
I mean, I'm not actually able to connect though, right, Nahida? How's this work?
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him.
All right.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So this is the inside of Irminsul.
Yeah, it's very different than what I imagined.
Ooh.
Oh,
Paimon's
wow.
never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
It kind of does. You know what this looks like, Paimon? One of the many trees we would see in a domain.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something.
Yeah,
Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
of course.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Paimon, that's because you're mature. But that's okay, that's part of why I love you.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Man.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Damn it, I want to go running off. Oh, man, I want to... Well, these are probably barriers we can't go by. I mean, there's also not much to explore, but...
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What would happen?
Good question.
What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost.
I mean... Probably be a... face.
Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
Yeah. You gonna go... Yeah, okay, I can't. Wait, how far can we... I'm doing the exact opposite of what he said. Oh, he is actually waiting for me, though. Oh, hey.
These sapling things have spread out.
What the
Those are
hell?
all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Yeah. So we're transported to another path. You gonna touch them?
It looks the same in every direction.
Are these spaces indeed unusual? But it seems that the Balladeer is more used to it than I. Are these all the information you're looking for?
No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth.
I mean, yeah.
Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
I mean, it's your...
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it.
Exactly.
So why don't you relax your guard a little?
And Paimon said, "That's just what you would like me to do, isn't it?" I bet.
We're here.
What a huge tree!
It really is. Actually, it's smaller than the real Irminsul, though. Or is this the real Irminsul? It's smaller than the actual living tree. This is the center of Irminsul. All the information in the world is flowing through it.
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
I mean... Well, actually, that probably is a large part of the Balladeer's current motivation. He hasn't put up any resistance, and he seems good at working on the front line. Maybe he had a similar role in the Fatui. I mean, it certainly felt that way. First Akaba and Sawada's stories, now this. What a strange individual. I mean, you connected a little bit to him, remember? You saw a little bit about his past. I mean, he's a complicated individual who has had some, well, pretty harsh experiences from what I remember, or what I gathered, rather. I mean, we only saw fleeting glimpses, but it was enough to shatter his faith in humanity.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Yeah. If you need, quiet, Balladeer, just let me know and I'll shove a sock in Paimon's mouth.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Oh yeah, we can have a quiet conversation with you. Nahida? Is this a telepathic conversation?
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
Oh, it's like a three-way call. This is fun. You know who you remind me of right now, Nahida? You remind me of King Kai. From, Dragon Ball. Or Dragon Ball Z, technically. Same story.
What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
Three-way mental communication, Paimon. I'm guessing that you don't want us to disturb the Balladeer.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Oh, it's so sweet. Yeah, Nahida has been alone for so long, and we're kind of the first friends she really made, I think. I mean, she had her subjects, but she didn't really make friends with them. Not even, Junior Zod.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great!
Yeah. But yeah, so it makes sense that she'd be eager to converse with us.
So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
I mean, yeah, he just has a sarcastic nature. That doesn't mean he's, being obstinate or anything like that. Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand.
Would you mind sharing, or no?
Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Maybe. I mean, my understanding is probably pretty flawed. It's based on a few flashes and, a few events that are, I barely remember. Is it about his past? The betrayals? And the other events in Inazuma? Yeah.
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Thank you. At least one of us is Paimon. Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into Hypatia at Partis Di. Yeah, exactly. You relate what you saw in the Balladeer's mind while in Partis Di.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind.
Yep.
Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Repeated betrayal at that. I think it was repeated.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, most people can, Paimon.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Yeah. He's a complicated guy. Paimon, did you not see that history? Was that only me? I guess so.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the academia today talking about an essay.
Oh.
Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
For a second there, I thought she was calling those two puppets. But no, probably because they mentioned a puppet.
If you mean the mysterious events, the kabuki mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
I mean, I'm sure they would love for you to tell them, but no, we don't need to be going down that route again.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Yeah. I mean, though, keep in mind, Paimon, she has access to literally all the world's knowledge. You tell Nahida about the story Akaba and Sawada are writing.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
Okay. Even though that's true, we can't encourage them to use that methodology. It's luck.
So the Gensei got it right?
The Gensei. Apparently so, Paimon. But, like I said, we should not encourage them.
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
By the Wanderer?
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
Sorry.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Is that information being uploaded there?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
We have every right to keep certain things confidential, but you are right.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
It's really not that.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
I mean, according to Nahida, there is something on my brother, which is still so weird.
Wait, how did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous.
Yeah?
It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you.
I mean, have I just been going around shouting from the rooftops that I'm not from this world? I mean, I don't think I have. I don't remember doing stuff like that. I could have sworn we were keeping that to ourselves, but everyone seems to know. Yeah. I guess not. But, yeah, we are pretty world famous by this point. Maybe that's why we're so world famous, actually. The traveler from another world. That would make a bit more sense. You know, in addition to all of our great acts, so to speak. Every conversation with you is hard work. But your attitude is better than I thought.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage.
Okay.
Huh? Wait.
What? Yeah?
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Is this some of the knowledge we were seeking?
Anonymous data.
Anonymous?
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Paimon, give him a second. Please. I feel bad for him.
Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatarasuna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
Huh. Mr. Niwa was the guy related to the Ishin art, and was the vice and, you know, armory officer or something like that.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's
An event from your past. that name. Niwa was the man in charge of Tatarasuna. Plus, he belongs to the lineage of Ishin art.
Whoa!
More?
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else.
Who are we right now? Are we the Wanderer?
Under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a warm, welcoming place. Like a giant village. People are gainfully employed. Their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing Crystal Marrow.
Oh. Wait, that was what it was for? Wasn't Crystal Marrow sought after, though? I guess it's actually... I don't know, is Crystal Marrow, like, actual marrow from the dead god? If so, I could actually understand why they'd want to dispose of it. And actually, I think that is why they wanted Crystal Marrow, wasn't? I don't remember. That was one of the very first things we had to, you know, we were introduced to when we stepped foot in Inazuma.
The forging industry with Crystal Marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown, all passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
You look like you're from Fontaine.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatarasuna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
I mean, this does explain, I mean, if I remember right, it required a Fontainian, you know, mechanic or engineer to maintain the forge or the thingy.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma. And it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher.
Escher.
But is this really the truth?
Oh?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way.
Uh-oh.
What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate.
Uh-oh. What did you do?
And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do.
Black smoke? Is it literally just like pollution? But no. I doubt it, because it's not there anymore, is it? Is that the, what was it, Tatarigami energy? Might be misremembering the name.
None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope.
Oh. So he took, so he was helping you You are so wanderer, you are helping them. What's this golden feather, though?
But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
What's your goal, Escher?
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
Yeah.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand.
Oh, struck down by the Shogun.
If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Be careful, buddy. He does have a knife back there.
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem.
Oh, it is the god energy. Okay. Oh. Wait, but I thought it was... Shoot.
Ominous black smoke.
Well,
mounting production
this is
problems.
the part I was trying to go back
Worker
to anyways.
fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate.
Yeah, I thought it was they had, you know, already adopted his device, and that's what resulted in this. But now he has another device to solve this issue.
And recently.
Why, Mr. Niwa.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace.
Okay, here we are.
And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem.
Yeah, so he has two devices.
I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
I don't think he does, no.
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked.
Oh.
I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Grabbing that knife.
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Yeah. There it is.
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
Ooh.
You...
Yeah, figured that was coming.
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start.
Disguised?
It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all.
No?
And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
Ooh.
And what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Someone we know.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
Wait.
If you kill me,
Wait,
there's
do
no
we know
one
that
who can get
voice?
inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person.
Who are you?
Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just
Aw.
missing a heart.
You told that to the Wanderer. That is so sweet. But isn't this one of the this is one of the events that shattered his missing heart? Wait, are you one of the Fatui?
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
If he's one of the Fatui, does he want the Wanderer? Does he want Scaramouche the Balladeer?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully
doctor?
controlled experiment.
Il Dottore? Is that you?
If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
How old are you? Jeez. Oh my god. You're human, right? Or you were?
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
The Harbingers have been around for a long time, haven't they? I thought they were a more recent creation, not this old. How long has the Tsaritsa been working on her plan? Huh. All part of a carefully controlled experiment. I mean, you're only number 2, but honestly...
Just to create a minor inconvenience
You are
for your nation.
honestly the most scary of all, I feel like.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Apparently so.
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise.
I mean, against evil, of course you'd have venom towards such a terrible act.
My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind.
So it wasn't actually Fontaine that made that device that we found, you know, we had to repair in Inazuma. That was a creation of the Doctor. Oh, damn.
It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet.
Oh, Doctor, you didn't.
Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
You bastard. Oh, man. Do you actually literally put his heart in the Wanderer?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us.
He never got that message, did he?
He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people.
It's something he really needs to hear.
The only ones who think like that are people like you.
Oh, man. That's something, though, that the Doctor likes to instill in his, we'll call them subjects. Yeah. Apparently from the Balladeer all the way to Kale.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself.
Redefine?
Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat.
I mean, that's also true. You are the second of the Harbingers, after all. He is, well, just a man. An ordinary man. And also, you are a monster, if not literally. So now that I'm seeing you here 400 or 500 years in the past, I mean, you very well might be a monster or a demon, I don't know.
I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity.
Don't you need his heart? There he is. He hasn't aged a day.
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was.
And who's Jester?
I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Well, we know which way he went. Is Jester number 1, maybe? I mean, he's the only one who could give the Doctor a task to complete, right? Number 1 of the Harbingers. Besides the Tsaritsa herself, of course. Well, shit. I'm sorry, Balladeer. Damn.
Hey, are you alright?
Of course he's not alright, Paimon. Did you not just see that?
Dottore. Dottore!
Yeah. That's one of the possible reactions to something like that. You know, manic laughter, sad grief.
Good. Good.
Oh, Balladeer.
Was that the Doctor?
It was.
Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
I'm afraid so. He was the one behind the Tatarasuna incident.
But why did we see things from his perspective?
You know, I've been thinking this whole time that the Tatarasuna incident was the thing we were dealing with, but no. The Tatarasuna incident, that's right, it was far older. And we were just sort of, you know, that's why that device had to have been placed in there, and we were, you know, preventing another incident.
When I touched the Doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Yeah.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Nothing? What do you mean?
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you.
Yeah.
He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
Yeah. He was a friend to the end. Of course, it may not be that easy to accept after so many years. This betrayal was a lie that he has believed for hundreds of years. Was this part of the Doctor's experiment? Maybe. The Doctor is a fascinating individual. He's a fantastic villain, too. I love him already. The betrayal never happened. It existed only in his imagination. But where does that leave him?
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
Okay. Let's go over there. We'll give him a chance to, process his thoughts.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Exactly.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Because his friend Paimon.
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand.
Yeah.
Perhaps he needed to learn this someday.
Paimon, try to imagine how you would feel if I, someday just approached you and, I don't know, stabbed you in the, in the back. Well, that's hard for her to imagine. How would you feel if, I ordered a giant meal that I said was for you, and then proceeded to eat all of it for myself?
So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabukimono to live with the people of Tatarasuna.
Yeah.
Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began.
No kidding. The doctor was behind the Tatarasuna incident, which is still basically unsolved to this day. I mean, his device at least is still containing it, but...
It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future.
Yeah.
Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the Balladeer became the main test subject.
And he continued to be a test subject all the way up to the present.
After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the Balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process.
Oh, Balladeer.
The load was far beyond what he expected, but the Balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?"
Aw, Niwa's heart protected him?
The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants.
You liar.
The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The Balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth.
It wasn't... it was actually through cold-blooded murder. But not Niwa's cold-blooded murder. Or, not Niwa committing cold-blooded murder.
He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the Balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Aww. Damn. Of course, this actually is not how the story we heard from the other two went at all, basically. I mean, Niwa was never the murderer in that story.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
It is. Sorry for suspecting you early on, Balladeer, as, the murderer in that story. Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what was behind his decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden 100 years ago. Oh yeah, that was much more recent. But it doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Yeah. Mystery of
Dottore, you
Tarsuna.
brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Yeah. Should I leave him to say more? Oh, wait.
Shall we see how he's doing?
I was actually intending to go up to him. I didn't realize that would trigger anything. Shoot.
Hey, you alright?
You mean he's smirking? That's a good sign, maybe?
That's a scary expression.
Yeah.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
I mean, maybe someday. We just want to make sure this doesn't affect the plan. Oh no, that's not the right answer right now, but...
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
I am actually a little worried about you, though.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Really? So that was information solely provided by... the Fatui. Though actually, no, that's not surprising. There shouldn't be information about the Descenders in Irminsul. We are from outside this world. That lines up with what we knew before.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Yeah.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
I don't know about that, Paimon. Not unexpected, but still. Thank you.
Don't thank me just yet.
No?
You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Oh?
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul.
Oh?
It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world.
Yeah. It's not surprising.
Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
He only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning. Okay. When you say the heavens, do you mean like the heavenly principles? Do you mean Celestia? And what is the summoning?
The heavens responded?
Yeah, you're actually making me more confused.
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria.
Wait, what?
And lived with your brother for a time.
The Jester was a royal mage in Conria. But... And he's okay. He's not like... Is this like a Dainsleif situation? I mean... I don't even... I mean, Dainsleif's not the Jester, is he? That would be quite the twist. But if not, I mean, if he was from Conria, then he has to be a similar situation. He's not completely corrupted and cursed. But yeah, wait. You can take this as word only. He was a royal mage. And he lived with your brother for a time. Dainsleif does know my brother.
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this.
No, I do believe you. But now I'm extra confused. What is this about the heavens and summoning? And we came here together. When you say he I don't know, when you said he came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning. I'm wondering if that's after the, you know, what the Sustainer of Heavenly Principles did. I don't know. Did she place him in Connery? But no, did...
Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Can you help me make sense of this, Nahida?
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
I'd say very.
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Jeez, you're looking a little ominous there, Balladeer.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long.
What are you about to say? Or do?
I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
Okay, why the shield, though? What do you want to know?
Give me your hand.
What?
Can you hear my voice inside your head?
Yeah. You trying to brainwash me? No.
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you.
Paimon looking very nonplussed right now. Even a little frown on her face.
So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Why would I know that? I don't know. But now I'm actually wondering myself, like... I don't even know. What did you just think, Alice? Wait, why would you ask that?
Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
I feel like our reaction told him exactly what he wanted to know.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me.
Padoka. I am at a little bit of a loss for words here. I feel like it was just implied that the answer to that question is yes. We know our brother... I'm assuming he's telling the truth. Well, we know the Jester is one of the Fatui Harbingers, a mage of Conria, somehow, who lived with our brother for a time. I mean, I feel like there's a very strong possibility that's actually Dainsleif. Though, well, hold on, because we've seen all the Harbingers, right? Did any of them look like Dainsleif at all? I mean, I guess they both could have. I mean, if he was there before Conria fell, I suppose they could have both known him. I don't know, did the Heavenly Principle send him to the past and me to the future? But, we also know that, yeah, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world, which should mean that it was my first destination too. Unless something's changed. Don't even. Wait, that look. Did he see... You know what? That's true, but that didn't change the past, did it? It just changed everyone's perception of the past. Right? Did he see me hesitate? But that was because I know about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Uh-oh. I think...
So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Uh-oh. I think by not denying it immediately, I give him the answer he needed. Yeah. I mean, I guess if it's what Urban Soul remembers, does that make it reality? I don't really know the answer to that. Said I really thought it was not literally rewriting the reality of history, just for what people remember.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Balladeer, stop! We have to stop him.
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
I'm like extremely confident that's not true. In fact, I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing each other very shortly, at least from my perspective.
From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki Mono will cease to exist.
Yeah. And what name are you going to take?
Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Wait, what are you doing?
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
He's gonna become the Wanderer.
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are.
Yeah, they can be annoying.
But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
But, Balladeer, if this is actually changing the past, you gotta be super careful. The knock-on effects of even a simple action like this can potentially be catastrophic to the future as we know it, and not necessarily for the better.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
Of course, I'll remember everything. Paimon won't, though. I mean, a lot of things would change if he never became Harbinger.
Oh no, he's really gone.
Yeah. Nahida, any advice?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
Yeah, that was the Balladeer using the last of his divine power, I think.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
You tell Nahida everything that happened.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left.
Well, it took everything he had, I think.
Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Maybe some combination of both, I don't know.
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it.
I mean, he just disappeared into Irminsul. I think he's trying to change the past.
We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
Okay.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
Yeah, I would have thought we'd still be in the Sanctuary of Surasthana.
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you.
I'm gonna help you. Yeah. But this is beyond our abilities.
I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
Of course, Nahida. I trust you.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster.
That's good.
Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Am I like in a samsara right now? Or is this, you somehow just transport me here
Her voice has
to our
gone.
room?
Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened.
Yeah.
What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
This isn't something I can really share with Paimon. Paimon doesn't remember Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. And the Balladeer's question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full. The truth might be very distressing for Paimon. Yeah, better we don't put this on Paimon. I'll skip the part about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata for now. Focus on the Balladeer. I mean, I feel like telling anyone about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata might actually accidentally bring her back, or bring the, corruption of the forbidden knowledge back into the world. So really should never, ever mention that. Till Balladeer asked you and what he might be
He
planning.
wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible.
It's not easy, that's for sure.
Right. You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life.
Well, I mean, we did rewrite history, but I'm still not positive it rewrote reality. Those are two different things.
It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it.
Yeah, great example, Paimon.
So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Paimon, if he does succeed, you won't feel anything about it because, well, it'll be like it never happened.
Paimon's so confused.
Definitely a good thing we didn't tell her about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Maybe he wants to erase himself from history. Oh, geez, that's a bit extreme.
Huh?
Paimon, careful. You okay?
Sorry. Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress.
Paimon, you can't blame that one on the Balladeer.
But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul?
Not necessarily, but maybe. I'm just guessing here. Well, I'm definitely not guessing here. But once again, it wouldn't actually... I'm not convinced that it would actually change anything, which honestly kind of makes it pointless. Well, at least in his case.
Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working.
Aw. Yeah, Paimon, it's probably best you stop trying to figure this one out. This is a bit beyond you. Just leave it up to Nahida and she'll do what she can.
Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him.
He really has.
There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
That's right. I have no idea what ramifications that would have on the world. Indeed, if the Balladeer does erase himself from Irminsul, many people in Inazuma will be affected. I can't imagine what the situation would look like. Worst case scenario, it will affect everyone with a connection to the Raiden Gokuden. Kazuha, Ayaka, Ayato. Will this mean they'll disappear? I mean, I don't know. It would change their recollection of history because events would have played out differently. I think it. I mean, if it doesn't actually rewrite history, like, or reality rather, then no, they won't disappear. But it'll effectively change their experiences. Because for all intents and purposes, history will have been different.
There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight.
Yeah, me neither.
So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here.
Okay, well, you start, Paimon. What's your favorite food?
Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish.
Ooh.
Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes, cream stew, sauteed matsutake.
I mean, not a huge mushroom person, but still, very, very good. Good selection, Paimon. I might go with one of the pizzas, or maybe the I'm surprised you didn't mention the sweet. What was it? The sweet chicken. The sweet madame. No, the northern apple stew that I always make seems pretty good. What else do we got? There's always the goulash.
And Dragon chili chicken, almond tofu.
Oh yeah.
Salad.
Oh man, the Jueyun chili chicken.
Also Adeptus Temptation, golden
yeah.
shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup,
And we're out.
and
I guess it worked. Well done, Paimon. You okay, Paimon? You fell asleep. Or not? Paimon, what's wrong?
What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now?
Did he succeed?
Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. What was it again?
You were getting so worried about the situation with the Balladeer. You started listing foods. And her next word will be, who's the Balladeer?
The Balladeer?
Yeah. Oh, I think he succeeded.
Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name though.
Yeah. That gives me kind of chills almost. Yeah, proper face there, Alice. Proper face. Which, I mean, that means that Nahida won't remember either, which means she failed. Paimon doesn't remember the Balladeer? That must mean he actually pulled it off. But how did he have that ability? This doesn't make sense. Yeah.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said?
No, it's nothing. But damn it, my secrets are just growing.
So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
This does make me curious what would happen if I said Ruka Devada, though. Maybe it would actually be okay. I don't know. If this is really happening, I need to know what else has changed. Paimon, come with me.
Okay, sure. Where are we going?
I want to go back to Inazuma.
Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Now's not the time to explain. Let's get over there first.